Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're not talking books. Today we're talking Marvel, MCU, superheroes. That's right, I am also obsessed with the MCU. I have not read the comics because I don't know where to start. So if you know where to start on the comics, please let me know down below because I really want to. Like, I do my research, like I watch a movie and I'm like, what happened in the comics to this character? What is it? Blah, blah, blah. But I want to read them because I like reading and I like Marvel. So if you know where to start in the comics, please help me. Please guide me. Please. Anyways, because Marvel's coming out with so many great things lately, and because I just rewatched all the MCU movies, and because WandaVision is driving me insane, I decided to add a Marvel corner to my channel. Just a little corner, just a tiny corner will be dedicated to Marvel. Just a tiny corner. The rest of the channel will be books, but the tiny corner will be Marvel. Hence the name Marvel Corner. So to welcome you guys to my Marvel Corner, I'm going to do a ranking of the 23 movies in the MCU so far. Now, I recently rewatched the movies, and to rank them, I rated them into these categories. I had overall, humor, villain, main character, side characters, plot, information that we learned, and cameos. Those were the requirements. They had to get from 1 to 5 in those requirements. And after that, I added up the total, and that's how I ranked them. And I gotta say, the process was pretty legit because the order at the end came out exactly how I thought it would. It has changed a lot from my ranking of last year. Like, my ranking last year was completely different to this year. But I'm very happy with the one I have this year. We'll see if it keeps changing. Maybe I'll do a yearly ranking of the Marvel movies. Also, as movies come along, the rankings gotta change. Because, wow, there's so many good movies coming. So, this is gonna be a long video anyway, so let's just get right into it and see what my ranking is. Also, in the cameos, I'm not counting Stan Lee's cameos because if not, I would have to give it a 5 for everyone. And I'm not doing that. So I didn't count his cameos. His cameos are amazing and there's no comparison. So when I talk cameos, I'm like, oh, Nick Fury randomly came out and I don't know, he comes out in all of them. Coming in at number 23 is The Incredible Hulk. Was anyone surprised? With a total of 17.5, this came out in the last place. It was boring. Well, it wasn't bad, but it left me wanting a lot. It was really boring. I mean, the dog in the movie was yawning because he knew that it was boring. Coming in at number 22, this one's gonna cause a lot of heads to turn. Captain America: The First Avenger. With a total of 22.5 points, it just didn't hit the mark. Kind of drags, and again, why don't humans know when to just stop away from the experimenting? Like, you see a blue shiny box and you're like, let me touch it. No, don't play with what you don't understand. This movie could have been a little more action packed, you know. I understand it was showing like Steve Rogers' origins and stuff, but speed it up, man. Coming in at number 21 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I used to like this movie more before. Now when I rewatch it, I was kind of like, this is so dumb. I also don't like Peter, and it's not because of what he did in Infinity War, even though that did not help him with me liking him. I just find him kind of annoying sometimes. I like the side characters better, like Groot. We have baby Groot, and that was cute. And then like Drax is funny. Mantis was an awesome addition to the team. I think she's awesome, and Rocket is awesome too, but Peter just doesn't do it for me, man. Number 20 is Iron Man 3. Now, this movie, in my total of the totaling of the points, has a 24.5. But Iron Man, I'm wearing Iron Man red, you know? on my nails because I love Iron Man. He's my favorite. He's my number one. He's the best. And while I love him, this movie was kind of weird. It's not my first choice to rewatch. Like if I'm going to rewatch an MCU movie, I don't go to Iron Man 3. But it's still funny and good because, you know, Tony Stark. With 26 points, in position number 19 is Doctor Strange. I thought Doctor Strange was good. And I still do. I think the movie's good. I think it gets a 5 in plot because it's amazing and we learn a lot of information. But Doctor Strange as a character, this time around, I was not vibing with him as much as before. He's kind of mean. So yeah, it used to be higher on my list before, but now it's kind of gone down. At number 18, we have Thor: Dark World with only 27 points. Everybody hates on this movie a lot. They say this is the worst MCU movie, but I don't think so. And we learned so much in this movie. It's very informative. As like to the end, like obviously each movie teaches us something, but I'm thinking like information that's like going to play out in other movies or in other worlds and other stuff. This movie teaches us a lot. First time we hear the word Infinity Stone is in this movie. It is a little boring, but at least we have humor, we have Loki, we have Darcy, we have a lot going on. It's just kind of done like all over the place instead of like in a cohesive order, but we do have a lot going on. And the villain's forgettable. He's not that good. Number 17 is Guardians of the Galaxy, which has an amazing soundtrack, way better than the second Guardians. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one has great soundtrack. Again, Peter is not funny and Peter is dragging their scores down because I can't stand him. But other than that, this movie's solid. It's like good. It's rewatchable too, but it's just, it only got a total of 27.5. Could have done better, but it didn't. Okay, this one, it's really, really, really gonna hurt some people. And number 16 with 27.5s too, like Guardians of the Galaxy, is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I know so many people love this movie, and I know this is like top 10 at least for like half of the MCU fans. But for me, this movie's just not it. It's not even top 10 for me. There's a 10-minute car chase when they're chasing Nick Fury, and none of the cops know how to shoot. Like literally, like finally after like 30 minutes into the movie, we see the Winter Soldier. But the whole scene that led us to the Winter Soldier is a car scene, a car chase. And nobody shoots Nick Fury. Like nobody hits him. There's like 20 cops on him and nobody can aim. Like, did you go to cop school? Did they teach you how to aim? Like, I get it, the plot of the movie will make it like less cops. Like it's like literally 20 cops on one car and nobody hits the car or Nick Fury. Kind of like, what are you doing? What are you shooting at? We get a lot of Black Widow and Captain America, which I like. We have Falcon, which I love, which is what made the humor go up because he's really funny. But other than that, it's just Captain America. I've been obsessed with Bucky. At number 15, we have Iron Man 2. And we were talking about soundtracks. Iron Man soundtracks, 1, 2, 3. It's awesome. Love the soundtrack. But other than that, it's the same thing that has been done before, you know? Hero builds suit, villain wants to build same suit, suits go to war. And the hero wins. It's done. Half of the MCU movies is that. Coming in at number 14, we have Black Panther with a raging score of 28, which by the way is what Iron Man 2 got. They got 28 too, but I forgot to say. Anyways, Black Panther is awesome. This one is the one that went up on my list. Like, I had Black Panther way lower in my list from last year, but this year went up because I was looking at the details and looking for like the stuff. And it was good. And while it's not a funny movie, which is a weak thing which is like a weakness for me because I love my funny movies, It does have a lot of information, and I do like the relationships between everyone, even the bad guy, and then T'Challa at the end. It was like good. With a score of 28.5, we have Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel, she's not my favorite. She's kind of rude sometimes, and she tries to be funny, but I don't know, she has this air of like, arrogance that it's just too much. So for me, she's okay, but the movie is good, and the side characters are good, and you know this movie is gonna play out into so much more coming up. Also, we found out how Nick Fury got his eye thing, and I think that's all we needed. Also, how he got the name Avengers. We learned a lot in this movie. Just learning how Nick Fury got his scratch made this movie go like way higher on my list. I don't know why. Also, we got a little cute kitty the whole movie, and I loved it. I have my own kitty, and I love it. But yeah, this movie's pretty good. The Captain Marvel herself's not as good. Anyway, it is. With 31 points, Thor comes in at number 13, and I was really surprised to see this one here. But then after I saw the list, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, it's not... Like, after watching Ragnarok, no Thor movie is going to be as good as that one. Ragnarok is one of my favorite movies overall, like in the whole MCU. Like, it's the one I rewatched the most. But this is still a good movie. Like, it's just not as funny or as like Thor-ish as like I wanted, but it's still good. And also the scene where he can't lift the hammer, that was good. Like, he clapped it up for Chris Hemsworth. So yeah, with a total of 31, Thor is number 12. At number 11, we have another surprise. I don't think you guys expected this to be so high on the list. That's Ant-Man and the Wasp. I love Ant-Man. I think it should get a lot more hype than when it gets. Like, it's good. The side characters in this movie are amazing, starting with Cassie and Lewis. So I think this movie deserves way more hype than it gets. We're in the end game now. And number 10 with a 31.5 is Spider-Man Homecoming. What? While I was watching it, I thought about watching, I was like, oh, maybe I should watch the other Spider-Man, especially because, you know, in Spider-Man 3, there's rumors that all 3 Spider-Mans are gonna be in it. So I was thinking I should rewatch all the Spider-Man movies and like make a video of it, like rating the Spider-Mans and all that stuff. So I'll do that. Let me know if you guys, that's something you guys want to see. But anyway, Spider-Man Homecoming is really good. And Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I haven't seen the other ones, but I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Because like I said, I haven't read the books, the comics, but I have done a lot of research on Spider-Man, and he sounds the most Spider-Man-ish to me. But we'll see. I'll watch the other ones and see. Coming in at number 9 is Ant-Man with a 32.5. Again, Ant-Man deserves way more hype. Like, way more hype. Like, just with that last fighting scene with the Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man, that scene is some of the best CGI Marvel has ever done. That scene is amazing. Like, it was great. Nobody ever talks about it. And again, the side characters are amazing. It's one of the best supporting casts in Ant-Man. I'm getting all emotional talking about Ant-Man. Anyways, yeah. So coming in number 9 is Ant-Man. Coming in at number 8 is the guy that started it all, Iron Man, that came in at number 30. It came in at number 8 with a 33 of a score. He's amazing. So yeah, this movie overall is like amazing. It was thanks to this movie I'm making this video. So coming in at number 7 is another movie that people hate on, but I love, and that's Age of Ultron with a total score of 34. Age of Ultron is really informative. Like, really, like, if you pay attention to that movie, you learn so much. And while the villain is not my favorite, I really don't know why this movie gets so much hate. I think it's good, and it's watchable. It's so rewatchable. I could rewatch this one so many times. And it's awesome. I love it. I think it gets way too much hate. Deserves more love. Coming in at number 6 with a total score of 35 is a Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, after the hype and the amazingness that was Avengers Endgame, it was going to be hard to like the next movie. But Marvel did not disappoint, and that's why I trust them. Spider-Man Far From Home was so good, and it set up Phase 4 perfect. So I love Spider-Man Far From Home. I've heard people don't like it as much, but this one's like pretty even. Like you ask some people and they're like, I love it, and you ask some people and they're like, oh, it's okay. I think it's amazing. I think it's really good, and I think it sets up everything and wraps everything up really well. Also, that end. Coming in at number 5. Actually, the next 3 movies have the same score. They all got 36, but I ordered them according to like my preference and like how much I would rewatch them. And so coming in at number 5, we have Captain America: Civil War. This movie has the best villain, hands down. Like, I'm sorry, Thanos, I'm sorry, but this villain did nothing. He didn't fight. He didn't have to throw a punch. I mean, he did fight. He did throw punches, but like he barely had to do anything to create the most chaos that has ever been created in the MCU. He made the Avengers break up. He destroyed the Avengers without doing anything. Like, I'm sorry, but I think that's a good villain. And this movie is amazing. I love this movie. I love it. And the reason it's not higher is because the ones that are coming, I love them even more. And with that being said, number 4 is The Avengers. The original, the first one, the one that made us go, what? When we saw The Avengers, we all thought this was going to be the best scene we were ever going to see. Then we saw Ultron, and we're like, oh wait, this. But then, this. We'll get to that. Anyways, Avengers was amazing. It was the first time we saw this, everybody together, and really, I don't think I have to say much about it. Everybody loves it. Everybody thinks it's great. Everybody's like obsessed, and thanks to it, we have everything else. I mean, it's thanks to Iron Man, but this one also helped a little bit. Coming in at number 3 is Are You the God of Hammers? AKA Thor Ragnarok with a 36. Again, everybody in this last 3 got 36. But Thor Ragnarok, I could watch it forever. If I could have given it a 10 in humor, I would have given it a 10 in humor. This movie is so funny and so well done. And all the side characters are amazing. I mean, Korg is one of my favorite side characters. One of my favorite sidekicks. And then Loki, as you guys know, it's like in my top 5 favorite superheroes. Love him. Easily in my top 5 favorites. Yeah. Easy. But yeah, this movie was amazing. And I watch it over and over again. So it deserves all its glory. And number 2 and number 1, you guys already know which ones they're gonna be. You may be surprised about the order though. At number 2 we have Avengers Endgame. What? Are you shocked? I thought Avengers Endgame was number 1 for me, but now rewatching Infinity War just has so much more things and so much more like, but still, Endgame made me cry. That's why I gave it a 3.5 in humor, because it made me cry a lot. However, in Endgame, we have the best scene in cinematic history. Like, in all of cinematic history, there has never been a scene as good as... I had chills, guys. Chills watching this scene. Every time I watch it, even if it's just randomly, like if it pops up in my Instagram feed, if it's just like, oh, I looked it up, just that scene. And the last battle is so good, especially with so many people around. And coming in at number 1 is the star of the MCU. I don't know, this movie is amazing. It's funny, even though it's sad, and it has so much, and it opens up and it's like Thanos, and then he kills Loki in like 10 seconds. And that's when I knew it was gonna be painful. But then we went into this movie thinking that all the originals were gonna die. Like, we were all like, damn, it's gonna be Captain America, Iron Man, like who is it gonna be? Then we walked out of the movie and like they're all alive, but like everyone else is dead. We have so many like cool encounters, like Doctor Strange and Tony, and the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor, and Bruce coming back. And dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the Wizards. Everyone goes to Infinity War with a score of 39. It was only missing 1 point. It just had to have one more joke, and I would have put it like at 40. Anyways, guys, that's it for my Marvel ranking. If you guys want to see more Marvel content, let me know down below what you want to see. Also, help a girl out and tell me how to read the comics. Thank you. And that's been all for today's Marvel Corner. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to live your best superhero life. Bye, guys.